What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 2, Thursday Night Football.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you my top picks for the Thursday Night Football Showdown between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, let's take a look at the quarterback position. And both of these quarterbacks on the slate are fantastic tonight. They both have price points that are similar, so it's a total coin flip to me. You could either go with Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert. But me personally, if I'm going to build one lineup, I think I'm going to go with a contrarian pick here and go with Justin Herbert from the LA Chargers playing the Kansas City Chiefs, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Now, Justin Herbert scored 23 fantasy points in Week 1. He got 4 rush attempts. He's going to be about 57% owned, projected at 23.3 fantasy points here tonight. He's 11,200 DraftKings salary. Vegas thinks there's going to be 54 points scored in this game, with the Chargers trailing by 4. Now, Patrick Mahomes had a fantastic Week 1. He scored 38 fantasy points. He got 3 rush attempts. He doesn't have as good of a matchup as does Justin Herbert, but it's Patrick Mahomes. He can light up the board any given night. He's going to be about 68% owned, and he's only 11,800 DraftKings salary, so only 600 more than Justin Herbert. So you can totally go either way here tonight with the quarterback, but I like Justin Herbert here versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. So the stud running backs you're looking at here for the Kansas City Chiefs, you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's 8,600 DraftKings salary. And for the Chargers, you have Austin Eckler. He's 10,200 DraftKings salary. So it's really going to depend on how much salary you have left in your lineup. But the one thing that stands out to me is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He only got 7 rush attempts and 3 pass targets last week. Now, he did score 22 fantasy points, but those 10 touches, not a lot of volume, so he doesn't find the end zone. He could have a rough night. Whereas Austin Eckler got 14 rush attempts and 4 pass targets. Now, he only scored 11 fantasy points, but almost double the volume there. He got 18 touches compared to Clyde Edwards-Helaire 10. He's going to be about 39% owned, projected at 19 fantasy points here tonight. Now, he is 10,200 DraftKings salary, so he's significantly more price than Clyde Edwards-Helaire, significantly more salary. So if you can fit him into your lineup, that's great. If not, Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be a decent running back as well. So I like Austin Eckler here versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
So if you're looking for a low salary running back, someone that might get some carries here tonight, you can take a look at Isaiah Pacheco from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's only going to be about 4% owned, but he did get 12 rush attempts last game, scored 12 fantasy points, and he's only 4,400 DraftKings salary. So that's a high risk, high reward sleeper pick at the running back position if you need to save some salary for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then for the Chargers, you got a guy like Sony Michel, who got 7 rush attempts in week 1, only scored 1 fantasy point. He's going to be about 6% owned, but he's only $3,000 DraftKings salary. So you got Sony Michel and Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco. So you got both of those guys. If you want to go with a low salary running back into your lineup, both those guys might get some touches here tonight. Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. So let's just go over all the wide receivers for the Kansas City Chiefs, or all the wide receiver ones, because I think all 3 of these guys have a good chance of scoring a touchdown here tonight. So the first guy, Juju Smith-Schuster from the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chargers have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing wide receivers. Juju Smith-Schuster scored 13 fantasy points in week 1. He got 8 pass targets. He's going to be about 38% owned, projected at 13.5 fantasy points here in week 2. He's $8,000 DraftKings salary. So I like Juju Smith-Schuster here versus the LA Chargers. Now coming down in salary, you have Marquez Valdez-Scantling from the Kansas City Chiefs. He scored 8 fantasy points in week 1. He got 4 pass targets and 1 rush attempt. He's going to be about 30% owned, projected at 9.6 fantasy points here tonight. He's $6,400 DraftKings salary. So I like Marquez Valdez-Scantling here versus the Chargers.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. Our NBA tools are awesome. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Now coming down in salary even more, and this would be probably my pick for a value play here at the wide receiver position. Take a look at Mecole Hardman from the Kansas City Chiefs. He scored 11 fantasy points in week 1 off of 6 pass targets. He's going to be about 27% owned, projected at 9.6 fantasy points here in week 2. He's $5,600 DraftKings salary. So I like Mecole Hardman here versus the Chargers. Now, if you're looking for a Chargers wide receiver, of course, the stud on the slate is Mike Williams, but he's $9,000 DraftKings salary, only got 4 pass targets in week 1, scored 3 fantasy points. Now, could totally change here in week 2, so he's going to be about 39% owned, projected at 15 fantasy points. So I like Mike Williams, but the guy I like from the Chargers to save some salary here is Joshua Palmer. He scored 4 fantasy points off of 4 pass targets and 1 rush attempt in week 1. He's going to be about 36% owned, projected at 11.2 fantasy points here in week 2. He's $5,000 DraftKings salary. So I like Joshua Palmer here versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. Let's go over all the tight ends that are on the slate, or, that you got options to play here. So you got Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs, who playing the LA Chargers, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Travis Kelce scored 29 fantasy points in week 1 off of 9 pass targets. He's going to be about 50% owned, projected at 18 fantasy points here in week 2. He's 11,000 DraftKings salary. He's got a great matchup. So I like Travis Kelce here versus the LA Chargers. Now, if you want to save some salary and you want to play a tight end, take a look at Gerald Everett from the Chargers playing the Kansas City Chiefs, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Gerald Everett scored 14 fantasy points off of 4 pass targets in week 1. He's going to be about 31% owned, projected at 9.5 fantasy points here in week 2. And he's only 4,800 DraftKings salary, and he's got a great matchup as well. So I like Gerald Everett here versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if you're looking for a sleeper pick, you want to save a ton of salary so you can stack those studs in the other positions, take a look at Trey McKitty from the LA Chargers. And Trey McKitty scored 5 fantasy points off of 4 pass targets in week 1. He was on the field for 60% of the snaps, going to be about 12% owned. He's only 400 DraftKings salary, so super low salary for a guy that got 4 pass targets with a great matchup. So I like Trey McKitty as a high-risk, high-reward sleeper pick here versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.